It's May 2nd, 2011. Stealth helicopters move toward Abbottabad, Pakistan. Inside are 24 Navy SEALs. Their target is the mastermind of the September 11th attacks, Osama bin Laden. The mission is top secret, known only to the highest levels of the US government. After 10 years of searching, the world's most wanted man has finally been tracked down. The operation has 3 main steps. First, they must land undetected. Second, they must enter the compound. And finally, they must capture or eliminate the target. But bin Laden is prepared for threats, and his building is heavily defended. 12-foot-high concrete walls, topped with barbed wire, surround the compound. At the center stands a 3-story structure. Every window is covered. Balconies are shielded with walls and shades, making it impossible for high-altitude drones to see inside. The SEALs are essentially going in blind. After a 90-minute flight skimming the edges of the Hindu Kush Mountains, the compound comes into view. Now they must land without being detected. But there's a serious problem. Just 18 minutes to target. The White House has intentionally kept the Pakistani government in the dark, fearing bin Laden could be warned. If discovered, the SEALs would immediately be treated as enemy forces. To make matters worse, less than a mile from the compound is a heavily armed Pakistani military academy. That's why this mission has been designed by some of the world's most skilled tactical minds. First, they must fly low along routes to the compound, reducing the chance of being spotted by Pakistani radar. Upon arrival, one helicopter is assigned to hover above the roof, allowing SEALs to fast rope down and breach from the top, catching the residents off guard. The second helicopter's job is to deploy another team at the front of the main building, ensuring the assault comes from multiple angles and blocking any chance of escape. Finally, 3 more helicopters remain on standby in case reinforcements are needed. As the SEALs sit in transit, President Obama observes from the comfort of the White House. Despite 8 months of planning, they forgot one important detail. The first helicopter moves in to drop SEALs on the rooftop, but as it tries to hover, the pilot loses control, sending the aircraft nose first into the central courtyard. The tail of the aircraft breaks into 2. Witnessing this, the second helicopter adjusts and lands safely in the open field outside the compound. Fortunately, luckily, none of the crew member are injured. The SEALs quietly regroup at their entry points, unsure if the crash has already given away their presence. The real test is about to begin. On the ground, it becomes clear how self-sufficient the compound is, perfect for Osama bin Laden to limit outside contact. To the northeast is a greenhouse where vegetables are cultivated. A few animals provide fresh food, reducing trips to local markets. Trash is burned on site instead of being handed to collectors. The CIA never once observed bin Laden coming or going, which allowed him to remain hidden with his family for over 5 years. That was until now. After disappearing in 2001, it took the CIA 9 years to locate bin Laden. One team is assigned to breach the gate leading to the guest house. Other SEAL groups take positions at different entry points on the ground floor. A final team waits outside the compound to keep the neighbors under control if they wake up. 3 SEALs storm the entrance of the guest house. Inside, they encounter a man armed with an AK-47. Moments later, they radio back. The guest house is cleared. 3 dead, including Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. He was bin Laden's courier and one of his most trusted aides, the man who unknowingly exposed their location. During interrogations, many captured operatives had referred to his alias. Once his true identity was discovered, the CIA traced his movements, which eventually led them to this compound in Abbottabad and to bin Laden himself. But of all places, why would bin Laden hide in Pakistan? With the US military heavily present in Afghanistan, staying there would have been too dangerous. Pakistan, being right next door, allowed him to slip across the border unnoticed. At the same time, the close proximity to his network made it easier for couriers to deliver updates and relay information. Back on the ground, step 2 of the mission begins, breaching the inside of the compound. The team at the southern entrance carefully unlocks the door and moves into the first floor. This area is where the family spends most of their free time. The first room is a sitting area with low couches decorated in abstract floral patterns. The space looks worn down, far from what one would expect in such an affluent neighborhood. Opposite the kitchen is a room functioning as a small classroom. Here, the children of the house are homeschooled in Arabic. In the shadows, a man steps into the corridor. He leans out from a doorway, and the SEALs open fire. They quickly push into the room. Inside, another man reaches for a rifle. The threat is eliminated. Still cautious that more armed men could be on the first floor, the SEALs spread out and clear each room, but no one else is there. The SEALs have gained entry, but a solid metal door now blocks the way to the second floor. It's too strong for standard charges. Heavier explosives could break it, but the noise would put the mission at risk. Instead, they use precision breaching charges, small, focused blasts designed to destroy the lock without drawing attention. They need another entry point. The SEALs exit and radio the all clear for the first floor. But the mission is far from finished, and reaching the second floor is a complicated and potentially deadly task. 6 minutes to target. Meanwhile, the second SEAL team, which landed outside, arrives at the front of the compound. They find the entrance to the second floor with a staircase and a security gate that must be forced open. After setting the charge, the team carefully moves up the stairs toward the second floor. Suddenly, they hear footsteps above. Looking down is a man in a white t-shirt, curious about what's happening. He is quickly neutralized. It's Osama bin Laden's son, Khaled. The team gets their first look inside the second floor of the compound. Despite having no phones or internet, this is where the residents stayed informed about events outside. The control hub for senior group members consists of 3 rooms packed with critical information. Each room contains several computers, hard drives, and storage devices filled with secrets and plans. Bin Laden was clever in using a communication system that was nearly impossible for the CIA to trace. He avoided the internet and electronic messages, relying instead on trusted couriers. Most of the time, he wrote letters by hand. When he needed to send messages over long distances, he used a USB flash drive, which a courier would carry to another location and send from there. But offline storage carried its own risk. It had to be hidden somewhere. And the team has just uncovered a cache. This large collection of intelligence could help America in the war on terror. But for now, they can't stop to examine it. First, every room must be cleared before moving to the third floor, the mission's final step. 2 minutes to the target. 10 years earlier, Osama bin Laden had been cornered in the Tora Bora cave complex of northern Afghanistan, surrounded by US and Afghan forces. With 1,000 fighters at his side, he endured relentless airstrikes and ground assaults. Reports say he even recorded a farewell message, convinced his death or capture was inevitable. Yet somehow, he escaped. Whether through a hidden tunnel or with help from local tribes, he slipped away from US forces. The team cannot allow that to happen again. This is their single chance. Fail now, and he could vanish forever. The SEALs form a tight line and quietly move up the staircase. They reach the third floor. It's pitch black. Even with night vision, visibility is minimal. They wait, listening carefully for the slightest sound. Suddenly, a flash of movement crosses in front of them. A shot is fired, and they push forward. 5 seconds to the target. As they storm the room, they see 2 women, bin Laden's wives, stunned in shock. In one corner, children cry as they huddle together. In front of them lies a tall man with a gray beard. They've found him. Target eliminated. But the danger isn't over. Another senior leader could rise in his place. The intelligence on the second floor could be a game changer. Hard drives and files that might expose the entire network, delivering a second devastating strike. Suddenly, a chilling message comes through the SEALs' radio. The nearby Pakistani military base has scrambled jets for immediate action. They know something is happening. Time is running out. The team quickly places bin Laden's body into a bag. It must be returned to base for DNA confirmation. The SEALs believe it's him, but can't be entirely certain. Few photos of bin Laden existed, with the most circulated dating back to 1997. Meanwhile, other SEALs sweep the second floor, collecting as much intelligence as possible before Pakistani forces arrive. They grab everything: hard drives, laptops, and phones. With the clock ticking, final checks are made to ensure nothing vital is left behind. Before leaving, the crashed helicopter is destroyed, so its advanced technology doesn't fall into enemy hands. As the backup helicopter closes in, the team prepares for extraction. Not a single SEAL is wounded, making this one of the most precise and successful missions ever carried out.
That the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
While President Obama announced the news to the world, bin Laden's burial was already taking place. To prevent his grave from becoming a shrine, he was denied a burial site. Instead, his body was wrapped in a white shroud, placed in a weighted bag, and lowered into the sea. The intelligence from the compound proved invaluable. Alongside surprising items like Super Mario Bros. And Counter-Strike, the drives contained nearly 97,000 documents, an archive so vast it has taken years to fully examine. The information helped reveal the inner workings of his network, as well as future plans. Around 3 a.m. in Pakistan, the army chief was informed of the raid. Reports indicate that nearby forces only reached the scene after the SEALs had already departed. In the days and weeks following the mission, the compound was visited by Pakistani intelligence officers, locals, journalists, and even explorers. 9 months later, local authorities demolished the site to prevent it from becoming a tourist attraction. Today, all that remains is a concrete foundation.